I'm Janet Bromley. I'm a Yorta Yorta woman living on Dja Dja Wurrung country and would like to pay my respects to elders past, present and future, and certainly it's been a wonderful experience for me to be living on this land and a completely life-changing to start to go to La Trobe Uni and to explore my creativity for the last 6 years. It's been wonderful. This is the exhibition end result for my Masters, and it's really become quite personal. It's talking about family, it's talking about the environment, it's talking about how we interact in place and how we can explore through art all sorts of things, and in particular in this exhibition, family, connections and the environment. These three pieces belong together, and usually in my work there's more than two pieces because I find that I'm having a very big conversation and I need each piece to say something specific. So this is talking about our environment, and this has come from me sitting on top of Mount Alexander, seeing how much plastic and how much waste is up there. In some ways the waste is going back into the ground. The steelworks, there's old quarries up there, old cars. That's not such a worry, but things like finding large pieces of plastic are quite disturbing. So these three pieces are saying we started off with wood, paper bark, wood. We moved on to plastic. We still had a bit of wood around, and now we've moved right to plastic, and we need to actually rethink what we're doing. The whole three of them are just called From Paper Bark to Plastic. As we go through my exhibition, we see a lot of pieces that are talking about quite big issues. These are talking about big issues, but it's quite small and personal. When I was a child, we used to go down the creek by ourselves and make dolls and make boats and make dams and make all sorts of things. They were pieces of work that were for that period of time. They weren't kept, they were discarded, they were left there. And these have been the in-between things for my serious work, where I feel like I still need to do something to keep me connected to actual making. And these became something that I didn't have to think about in that more serious and deep way. I could just make the dolls the same as we used to when we were small children, out of whatever was available. And this is my favourite. It is, it's a beautiful thing. These two pieces will eventually become more pieces. This is something that I'm really interested in, is what is underneath our feet. Since I've been up here in Bendigo, I've been connected to a few groups who go out on country and geologists who talk about this region. It's an amazing geological formation, and I'm really interested in the way that the earth is shaped underneath and the way that, I guess, we just walk on it and we don't actually think about what it looks like. And this is what these two represent. These three are the same as the dolls in some ways because they fill space in between doing really deep thinking work, except these ones I need to be able to see a gesture. So this one's about ready to prance, this one's being like very special, and this one's off and running. And that's what I'm looking for when I make these pieces. It's some sort of gesture about what the animal should be doing. These three pieces of work are very personal to me. They are about my family. So I was in an exhibition over at the Central Goldfields exhibition of a whole group of Aboriginal female artists from regional Victoria. It was the most awesome experience because some of the people, one person in particular I studied, I've been looking at her for the last 6 months or so, and that's an awesome thing to do as an artist. So when we're looking at these pieces, this piece here is about the country that we live in. And it very much to me talks about Bendigo's, what it looks like in Bendigo, the colours of Bendigo, the little bits of metal, the things that are left in the ground from all the diggings. And it just, to me, is Bendigo. This one here is about my family, my female direct family. So my mum, myself, my daughter-in-law, and my granddaughter all gave me pieces of clothing which are woven into this piece of work. And my mum's at the bottom because she holds us up like that. This little tiny bit here, my granddaughter gave me her t-shirt, her Going to China t-shirt that she did when she was in grade 6. And so that's very special. And in actual fact, most people wouldn't even know what it was, but we know all the pieces that go in here. The other thing I do with my work is it's all recycled materials, and I leave the labels. I want people to know that that's what I've done. And on here, there's buttons from my mum's cardigan. Maybe one day when she sees this, she'll forget that she gave it to me and say, "Why did you cut up my jumper?" But I leave the buttons, they're all there for a purpose. They're all there to remind people that these are things made out of recycled material. This is all the children. My mum's children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren. This big, joyous cacophony of colour is all of the, from the little ones to the big ones. There's a new baby coming at the end of the year, which will be another grandchild for my mum. And it was an acknowledgement. In Aboriginal culture, you come behind the people who are ahead of you. You follow the elders. That's why we're always talking about and paying respect to elders, and the children come behind. But there's also an element of the children being taught to look after the elders as well, and it's quite circular. It's quite a complex way of being to learn. And this is them just having fun and being. One of my grandsons decided this was him because it's all fluffy and weird, and he said, "That must be me because I'm the weird one." So this is the eagle's nest. This was the most difficult thing I've ever done, and I discovered in the process of thinking about it and getting very confused about what I was going to be doing that I actually needed to claim it as something that I do in the way I do it and not try and build it like an eagle, because they're just awesome and they do their building not like anything I could do. I don't know why I had to come to that actual conclusion in my own head, to walk away from thinking that it needed to be like an eagle's nest. But as soon as I did that and thought I should do it in the way that I wanted to do it, or in the way I would normally work, then it became an easy thing to do. We've got bike tyre, we've got blue hail baling twine, we've got a bit of a jumper, we've got lots of tyres, bike tyres and car tyres, bark, all sorts of plastic. These things all came off Mount Alexander, everything that's on here. Big pieces of tin, caravan awnings. I take all these things home, clean them up so that they don't smell, make sure that animals are not in them, the spiders and whatever else, and use them in all of my art. And in this, I was thinking, I've seen in magazines photos of birds that are coming back and collecting bits and pieces of plastic and putting them in their nests. We see animals that have eaten the plastic or the junk that we leave lying around, and I guess this was a combination of that type of idea, but also the idea of weaving this together. Weaving's not just in the realm of people or humans, animals weave things together too. These nests that eagles build and that other birds, they've all woven them somehow together as well. So weaving is quite a thing that goes right across, broadly across everything in the world.